And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining.
And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure. We're sending it in.
Yes, sir. What is up, everybody? Yes, sir. Welcome. What is up, everybody? Yes, sir. Welcome. What is up, everybody?
Whoa.
Welcome.
We got echo tonight. Echo tonight.
Echo Niner.
What do we have echo from? What is going on here? What do we have echo from? What is going on?
I am in hot pursuit of the bandit. I am in hot pursuit of the bandit. I am in hot pursuit of the bandit.
Yo.
Here we go. That's
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I was out of nowhere. Hold on one second. Let me see something. Hold on one second. Yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Now we have no
Yeah,
echo.
I can hear you.
Yep.
Now we have no echo. Now we have echo. Hold on
Now
one
we have
second.
echo. Yeah.
Do we have echo? Yo.
Nope.
Do we have echo?
Nope.
Echo.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Oh, I know why.
Yeah, we do.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go.
No echo.
No echo. I figured out why. Anyways, sorry about that.
We're not gonna restart this, huh?
Nah, I mean we're live.
Yeah.
You
okay.
know,
Do what
it
you gotta
happens,
do.
dude. It happens. It's part of a live broadcast. Anyways, welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Joined with my guys, Swervin' Irvin Washington, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson.
There we go.
I made a rookie mistake, dude. I accidentally had up the Twitch tab and I didn't have it muted. So that's why it was echoing.
There we go.
So it was
Echo
replaying.
Niner. Echo Niner.
It was replaying through the mixer out the stereo. So I apologize. Rookie mistake on my part. I should be better than that. I'm not even drunk, which is the worst part. But anyways, we got a big show on deck. So obviously, NFL season come and gone. We recapped the Super Bowl on Sunday night. Kind of went over some futures for next year. You know, we'll be continuously diving in and out of NFL news as it comes, especially when the draft comes closer. But you know what? We got baseball season right around the corner, Ben, and Irv, March 30th, opening day. So we are literally, how many days are in February this year?
28.
28 days. So we're 13,
Like
40 something
we'll
days
say
away.
roughly 45 days away.
Yeah, we're really close. Let's put it that way.
I'm fucking stoked.
Pitchers and catchers for most teams reported this week, sometime this week. So we're right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break down each division every Wednesday, starting today up until opening day. Last Wednesday of opening day, we're gonna really dive into division winners, pennant winners, World Series winners, AL Rookie of the Year, NL Rookie of the Year, and a bunch of other futures odds, right? And we'll kind of discuss them as we go through these divisions with teams with these players for MVPs and rookie of the years, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to be starting off with the NL Central division this week.
Yikes.
Which is we're starting off with both Central divisions. So this week NL Central, next week AL Central. So we're gonna get the two worst divisions in baseball out of the way. Although I do think the NL Central is very intriguing. I do think it's improved. I think we can see some crazy things happen in this division, which we'll dive into a little bit.
It's still bad.
Yeah, it may be bad.
Really bad.
Obviously you got the Reds and the Pirates who have been, just fucking doormats for the last couple of years.
Rebuilding, at least in one of their cases.
I mean, I think both teams are rebuilding. It's just like they're rebuilding at their own pace. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think both teams have a lot of good young talent, but it takes years. It takes a handful of years for that young talent to actually get to the major league level and then actually produce, right? So,
yeah,
we'll be discussing that. Let's just hop right into it. The first team, right? Or before I haven't even asked you yet. How are we doing tonight, fellas? How are we? Wednesday, middle of the week, after the Super
baseball
Bowl.
Team.
Hump day.
I'm fucking stoked.
Valentine's Day. How was Valentine's Day, fellas? Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, we did all our stuff this last weekend, so we didn't have to pay
What's
all
so
the high
special about
prices.
Valentine's Day?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I refuse to spend a cent on Valentine's Day.
Let's go, y'all.
I need one that says "my man."
There we go.
Right there.
There we go.
Anyways, let's dive right into it, man. Let's dive right into it. So, first team we're going to talk about for the NL Central is the Cincinnati Reds. Their win total this year is 65.5. Some books you could find 66.5, 64.5. I kind of took the middle of all the books and just put 65.5. But I mean, you could shop around depending on which side you like. If you like the under, obviously, take the 66.5. If you like the over, take the lowest number possible. Last year, the Reds finished with 62 wins and 100 losses. But if you remember, they started out with one of the worst records in the first month of the season. They were on pace to only win like 30 games after a month.
Damn.
So they actually came on a little bit stronger towards the end of the year. Obviously traded a lot of players in the middle of the year. They traded Brandon Drury to San Diego, who re-signed elsewhere. And honestly, a lot of the guys they didn't re-sign this year have not re-signed with teams. Donovan Solano, still an unsigned free agent, who was really good with the Giants 2 years ago, right? Mike Moustakas, who's won a World Series with the Kansas City Royals, still an unsigned free agent. They have brought in Daniel Norris from the Detroit Tigers, who was, he's on a minor league deal. They brought in Chad Pinder from the A's.
Mike Moustakas.
So, I mean, they didn't really make like a ton of splash moves here, right? They've just made, kind of re-signing their guys that they've had on their roster and or signing like lower level free agents, minor league contracts, etc. So what's our thoughts on Cincinnati? Obviously, they're really developing their own talent as they've like had top 5 draft picks for the last several years. They have one of the best farm systems in baseball, according to MLB.com and Baseball America. And obviously Hunter Green, he led the league in 100-mile-an-hour pitches last year, but he really started to play better as the season went on. So what's your guys' thoughts on Cincinnati here this year, the Reds?
Whoever you want to start?
Well, what's the over under?
65.5.
Go under and I would just say go to a youth movement, keep building that farm, and when those guys is ready, hopefully they show out because they're not going to compete. So I would just say just
go to it. They've been on a youth movement, bro.
Yeah,
I know what I'm saying. Was just go out there and try to compete and see what you can do, because the biggest thing with them is going to be their pitching, because they can hit. They just super inconsistent. They not like Marlins bad, but it can get bad at times.
Well, no one was as bad as the Marlins last year
Yeah.
hitting. That's an understatement. What do you
Yeah, I
think,
mean,
Ben?
I think this team has some opportunity here. I mean, with Lodolo and Green, I think you've got a decent. I mean, they're going to use it as a 1-2 punch, but I think you got a decent maybe 2-3 punch right there, maybe 1-3 punch. That can do some damage. To start the game and to eat innings. Um, there's a lot of question marks. Is Jonathan India going to come back to where he was from his rookie year?
He was hurt last year a lot.
He was hurt, but he still, when he was back in, he didn't show that greatness like he did in his rookie year. When's Ellie going to take his step up? Young kid with great potential. They're kind of projecting him to play 8% of the year at shortstop and 15% of the year at third base. So he's going to get some playing time, but how much does he actually get, and how much can he do being such a young kid? So, that's a big question. Is Votto going to hit the 30, what was it? I think it was like 39% of the payroll goes to Joey Votto's contract. The whole team makes 70 million and he's at 25.
Yeah.
So, where is he going to play? Is he going to, I mean, to be honest, at this point, I'd put, I might put Pinder, Stevenson, Myers at first and just have Votto be your DH there. At least get Stevenson and Casali some time behind the plate to flip things around and really push a movement, because I really did like Casali for the Giants last year and the year before. He was pretty impressive behind the plate. So there's opportunity here, but I put them over that 65.5. I think they're going to win 67, 68 games, but just barely over.
Yeah, I kind of like them over too. And the reason being is last year, I mean, they got off to a terrible start, year, and they managed to squeak out 62 wins. And I think they're going to be improved this year. I mean, how much more improved? I mean, we're only looking for 3-4 more games, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
With this
they're
team,
not going to get off to that bad start like they did.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think with the talent they have on their team, I mean, they do have a pretty solid starting lineup as far as pitching. When you got Hunter Green, Nicola Dolo, Graham Ashcraft, he wasn't terrible last year. And then obviously the back end, Luke Weaver, Luis Sessa. I mean, those are guys that are just there until you got guys coming up.
8 innings,
yeah. But I think that this team, especially if Hunter Green, if he takes the next step, which I think is definitely possible. I mean, Fangraphs is projecting him to have a 3.95 ERA, 29 starts, 156 innings pitched, 194 strikeouts. 194 strikeouts part is the most intriguing point for me because, he is a high strikeout guy, right? Last year, his deficiencies was walking guys and leaving guys on base, because you can't just walk guys. But I think with Hunter Green, especially with the shift rules coming into play, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't get a lot of contact, if he doesn't get a lot of balls in the play, that's going to be huge. And Nick Lodolo, obviously he was nice from the left-handed slot, projected 3.77 ERA. So I think that the Reds can go over here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I think the Brewers are going to take a step back, which we're going to talk about later. Which kind of
the Cubs are just a huge question mark for me. So
yeah,
see them get another win or two.
I mean I like the Cubs this year. I'm not gonna lie.
There's way too many question marks there for me. So
we'll talk about for sure.
Yep.
I'm trying to. Who was the guy that hit? That was smashing home runs last year for them at the end of the year.
For the Cubs?
No, for the Reds.
I don't know. I gotta look into it. Let's see.
He was like
Was it Nick Solak
no, he was
or Senzel?
no, he was from like the Dominican or Puerto Rico. Why is his name just slipping my mind right now?
Last year's stats.
He was just raking at the end of the year.
Of course, man, I'm as slow as balls. Come on, there we go.
Oh, it's not Solano, is it?
It might have been
Kyle
Solano.
Farmer.
Nah, not Farmer.
Jake Fraley had 12.
Nyquin.
Nah, it wasn't Nike when he got traded.
So it's probably Solano. Was it outfielder?
Yeah.
Tommy Pham 11. Joey Votto 11. Astridis Aquino.
Yes, Aquino.
Yeah.
That was his name. Where's
he is not on their depth chart.
Yeah, he's not even on their roster.
Yeah.
What happened to him? Where's he at, Ben? Can you search him real quick?
Yeah. Let's see if he comes up this way.
Because I was wondering that too. Because I was going through their roster the other day, and I was like, his name slipped my mind, but I knew it was like something like that. Is he in jail or something?
Aristides Aquino.
Yeah. He is still noted with Cincinnati.
Because I don't even see him in the minor leagues, dude.
No.
Did they ship him back overseas?
Just says non-tendered.
So
that
they
means
didn't give him a contract.
don't that mean he a free agent?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one signed him.
I don't even see that on Baseball Reference here.
I mean, he only batted 197, but I mean, he hit some dingers, dude.
Yeah.
For a solid couple weeks. Anyways.
Yeah, he a free agent.
Obviously, this isn't the year that Cincinnati's building for, right? They're building for, next couple years when Ellie De La Cruz and Novel Marte, the guy they got in the trade for Luis Castillo. Like that's when they're really building for. But I still think that the Reds have enough talent, and especially if Lodelo and Hunter Green are nice. That's a nice 1-2 punch. And let's be honest, man, pitching, as long as you got solid pitching, you can always make noise.
Yep.
I feel like the Reds are going to be in that spot where it's like they're going to be like, plus 350 dogs, and they're just going to give hell to like heavy favorites, kind of like they did at the end of last year.
And winning you some money when you bet on them.
Yep. So I mean, I kind of like their over plus 6,600 to win the division. I just don't think there's any fucking value.
Yeah,
in that.
they're not winning no division.
No way.
You're literally just fucking donating money at that point. So
yep.
But I do like the over 65 and a half. I could see him winning like 68 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I have him at 67, 68. So.
Yep. But I 65 and a half, I don't love it. 64 and a half, I like it a little bit more. All right, let's move on to our next team. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is another very interesting team, a young team with a lot of young talent coming up in the rankings. Last year they finished 62 and 100, same as the Reds. They probably had a better roster than the Reds too, which is pretty intriguing. They're really dog shit pitching. That's really what kills them. Their starting pitching last year was 24th in ERA, 27th in WHIP, 27th in walks per 9, 20th in K per 9. But, I mean, their hitting was even worse. 29th in average, 28th in OBP, 28th in OPS, 18th in home runs. So, I mean, this team was just not good all the way around.
At all.
They didn't really make a ton of off-season acquisitions. This is a team that's really looking to build from within. Biggest acquisition they made was trading for Ji-Man Choi, who let's be honest, dude, that dude fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I
think the biggest acquisition of you can't really call it an acquisition, but a lack of trade is with keeping Reynolds and not getting rid of him when they had the potential to do that, to get some more young pieces.
Yeah, but they want he's still under control. Like, he's a nice contract, so it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense for them to just trade him just to trade him. Like,
Oh,
if you're gonna trade him, get what you think he is valued at, right? So
Yep.
you can hold on to him until the trade deadline, right? Maybe a team becomes a little bit desperate.
Yeah.
Maybe a team like the Dodgers gets an injury to one of their outfielders like Mookie Betts, and they overpay for a Brian Reynolds. You know what I mean? Maybe the same thing happens to the Giants. Like, God forbid, Aaron Judge gets hurt. Right? Last year was the first year
Judge.
Last year was the first year Aaron Judge stayed healthy all year. But God forbid, like, a guy like him gets hurt, and the Yankees are built to contend now. It's like, okay, well, let's go out and trade for a Brian Reynolds who's productive enough. He's not going to fill Aaron Judge's shoes. He's not going to fill Mookie Betts' shoes, but he's still going to fill the production type level.
Let's not mention Dodgers and injuries, okay?
Hey, I'm just saying, because those are two teams that, if they do get injuries, they're going to go out.
You can't play MLB no more, bro. I ain't gonna put the business out there on the podcast. Just turn MLB off. We can talk about it. Turn MLB off, big dog.
I mean, I like this whole left side of the field. I'm not gonna lie. I like having McCutchen back. I think that brings the veteran depth there. I like Brian Reynolds.
Got him. We was trying to get him.
Yeah, I like Brian Reynolds in center. I like O'Neal Cruz. Cruz has a lot of development, but he's got size, he's got strength, and like once he gets his bat down, he's going to be a major factor on that team. And then you got Cabrian Hayes at third base. So I think that whole left side of the field is awesome.
Defensively, yes.
Defensively, yes. Defensively.
Off topic. Kevin Love is being bought out by the Cavaliers.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, he's gonna go to Phoenix.
Surprise me. So I mean, I think that left side is really good. The right side, I think, is mediocre. Choi, not a bad first baseman. His bat is trash. You've got Austin Hedges at catcher. You've got Castro at second, and you've got Mitchell and right.
Bro, I've watched so many times where Ji-Man Choi got bases loaded last year, and
and just
fucking strikes out or pops up to fucking first base, dude. Like, I can't stand that.
Once upon a time, he's the most underrated first baseman in baseball.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was from one man. I think an underrated signing from them was Carlos Santana, though, because he's like a true locker room leader. Like, you saw what happened when the Mariners traded for him last year. The Mariners were kind of like in this funk, and then they trade for Carlos Santana. It's not like his production and his bat came in there and just lit him on fire, but it was that locker room leadership for a team that, was a bunch of guys that have never been to the playoffs. Carlos Santana's been there. He's done that. And I think that's huge. Same with Andrew McCutchen, leading these guys like O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, Cabrian Hayes, Jack Swinsky, who I think may be the best player on this team when all is said and done, right? Mm-hmm. I think Pittsburgh has a ton of talent. My issue with Pittsburgh is they just do not have any fucking pitching, dude.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
I just think they're all like 3, 4, 5 guys.
Yes.
Every single one of them. You got Rich Hill. Good.
He's 44 years old, or 50
he's still pitching.
Yeah, but I mean, he's decent.
He's a boy from the Mariners. What was his name? J.B. Moyer. He's the next J.B. Moyer.
Let's see. I want to see what Rich Hill.
Bro, gonna be pitching until he's 50.
He's 43 years old, dude.
Yeah, he's been
that curveball still curving, but when he missed,
17 years in the league,
500 feet.
Jesus, 17 years in the league. But Mitch Keller, I think, has some upside too. Roansy Contreras has some upside there too, but like nobody that's going to be a legit number 1 or even number 2.
Nah, nobody, dude. Endy Rodriguez is probably their best pitcher. I know he's not projected to be a starter, but he finished the year last year in their starting rotation. He has good stuff. He's one of their best prospects. He's going to start the season in the rotation. I know Fangraphs doesn't say he's going to, but I guarantee he's going to, because I mean, look at this shit, dude. Mitch Keller,
Rich Hill, 7-8 last year with a 4.27 ERA. Not bad for a 42-year-old.
Nah, I mean, not bad, but he's an inning
not great,
dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's not there to. I'm sorry, dude.
He's an antique. That's what we go call.
Absolutely. I mean, he should be a 4 or 5 guy. No questions asked.
Oh, sorry, I said Andy Rodriguez. I meant Contreras, who is projected to be in their starting lineup.
Roansy Contreras, yeah.
Yeah, he's actually pretty nice. His problem is he just can't get deep into games yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing he's got to figure out. But aside from him, I mean, Mitch Keller, Rich Hill, JT Brubaker. I mean, JT Brubaker last year, he was on a streak where, like, he didn't have a win for, like, 15 games, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Was fading the hell out of him last year.
Yeah, he was like an auto fade, bro.
He made us a lot of money.
The only guy on their team who, like, is a legitimate guy is David Bednar, who's their fucking closer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably going to get traded.
But all you're looking at is 67.5 wins.
Yeah, I'm going under, though, because they don't have any pitching, Ben. And honestly, unless O'Neal Cruz and Jack Sawinski take a massive step forward and they go on and hit, 30 dingers and drive in 100 runs, I just don't see how this team is going to drive in runs because Brian Hayes does not hit for power. You know what I'm saying? So that's his... Yeah. As good as he is defensively, he's one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball, no doubt about it. He should have won the Gold Glove last year. He was better defensively than Nolan Arenado. He should have won the Gold Glove. He's that good defensively.
Yeah.
But his bat is just, it has to come along with his glove. Because if you're at a corner, if you're a corner outfielder or a corner infielder, you have to be able to drive in runs or else you're fucking useless. I don't care how good your glove is.
It's true. And you look at the run differential from last year, it was minus 226. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I don't see how their bats have gotten that much better or any of their pitching has gotten any better. So
they're really relying on Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, Jack Sawinski, and O'Neal Cruz to be better.
Yeah.
Can those guys be better? Absolutely. Is it a guarantee? Absolutely not.
Yeah, for 5 games. 5.5 games.
With that pitching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, their pitching didn't get any better. Like, Rich Hill, I mean, how many more wins is he going to give you? Realistically, 1?
2 or 3. 5 at the max.
It's crazy, bro. Like, I don't know. I just think, in my opinion, the Pirates are an underbet or nothing at all.
I'm with you on that one.
I think the Reds finish better than the Pirates do next year, personally.
Yeah, just that pitching is horrible.
Yep.
I mean,
the Reds pitching isn't good either, but they're better
than the Pirates. Better than theirs.
Yeah, I think they have a more potent offense. They have the potential for a more potent offense.
Yep.
Defensively, though, I still think Pittsburgh's a better defensive team.
Yeah, only because they have Cruz and Brian Hayes on the left side, and Brian Reynolds is he's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. Jack Sawinski's nice out there too. It's just at the end of the day, like, Ben, you got to be able to pitch for 162 games. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just go out there and outslug guys, and they can't outslug people. You know, they ain't outslugging nobody, because what's gonna happen is Brian Reynolds, Brian Hayes, and Jack Sawinski's gonna get on base, and G-Man Choi is gonna come up and ground into a inning double play every fucking time.
Okay, with the new shift and infield rules, does that change things for Choi though?
See, the thing is like, I don't think it changes for a lot of guys, because of the fact that, like, infielders are so much more athletic now. You know what I'm saying? I think what these rules are going to do more than elevate hitters is it's going to expose a lot of bad defensive guys. But the only guys that I really see, the only type of hitters I see it benefiting is guys like Joey Gallo, who, like, literally will rake a ball 110 miles an hour off the fucking barrel, but
right at somebody,
right at the guy who's standing in short right,
because there's all 9 guys are playing on the right side of the field. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's
gonna benefit Cody Bellinger too.
Maybe, but he has an uppercut swing, so he strikes out too much. Like, at the end of the day, you got to make contact. Same with Joey Gallo.
Ooh, Bryce Harper.
Well, Bryce Harper can hit all sides of the field.
I know, but if it wasn't for the shift, I remember one year he hit like 230 something. If it wasn't for the shift, he'd have been well over 300.
Yeah, there's
Bryce
a
Harper
lot.
just has to stay healthy.
There's guys, Kyle Schwarber, I think it's going to benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But G-Man Choi, I mean, bro, he strikes out and pops up so much, dude. Like he's popping up to first base,
Yeah,
dude.
if it wasn't
First
for
base
his
still gonna
defense,
be
dude
there.
wouldn't even be in the MLB. He is.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm hesitant on that 67.5. It's just such a low number, but we're asking for 5 more wins there. And does McCutchen and Choi basically the only additions?
I think the Pirates
play
are
a little bit more, but
until the Pirates get some real pitching, I just think they're further away than Cincinnati.
yeah.
Unfortunately, because I love the Pirates, dude. They have the best uniforms in baseball.
Yeah, I think their locker room is going to be great now that McCutchen is back in there.
Yeah, and what's his face? Carlos Santana.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next team. We got the Chicago Cubs. This is one I really like, which is why I wore the Cubs hat. Wore it for a specific reason. So Cubs finished last year 74-88. Their win total is 77.5. They made a lot of additions. And they also had some subtractions. They lose Wilson Contreras to St. Louis. They lose Drew Smyly. They lose Wade Miley. They lost Jason Hayward, Framil Reyes. But, they go on and they add a guy like Dansby Swanson to an already deep infield, in my opinion. One of the deeper infields in baseball. And then they get Eric Hosmer, Trey Mancini, Cody Bellinger, who, is a former MVP. I do think the shift rules are going to change. He does have to fix his swing, though. Hopefully he does. But I'm very high on Ian Happ. I love Ian Happ. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball. And I also really like Christopher Morel, who can play multiple positions at a very high level.
Nico Horner.
I like Nico Horner. I'm not as high on him as Eli is. Eli fucking slobs on his knob, but
He's a Cub fan, so I get it.
I think he's good, but I don't think he's
dude is good, but he would be elite if he could hit for power. He just can't hit for power like that.
Yeah. He reminds me of like a better version of Kinzer Falefa from the Yankees.
Okay.
Like both guys are athletic. They're good infielders. IKF used to be a great infielder until he went to the Yankees. All of a sudden he fell off a cliff. I don't know what the fuck happened there. But that's what Nico Horner really reminds me of. But now he's moving to second base with Dansby Swanson. Although I do think that we might see a switch mid-season, especially with the shift rules, because I do think that Nico Horner and Christopher Morel both can cover more ground. Although with them putting Morel at third base, Morel is very athletic, very fast, has a huge fucking arm. I think he makes up for a lot of ground at shortstop too. But also, I think the Cubs pitching staff is very underrated. Marcus Stroman, Jameson Taillon had a career year last year. I don't expect him to be as good, but Justin Steele from the left side, I love Justin Steele. He was nice last year. He was a guy that I backed very often, especially against teams that couldn't hit lefties, like the Brewers, who they happened to face in their division, right? A lot. They re-signed Drew Smyly. Keegan Thompson had a career year coming back from Korea. What's your guys' thoughts on the Cubs here? I think it's a no. I think this is one of the. I took this bet over.
Yeah, take the over.
I thought this was one of the most
no-brainer
bets.
It's what, 87.5?
No, 77.
77.5, sorry.
So you're basically telling me we're only betting on them to go 500 or better, Ben.
Yeah, but I just there's too many question marks with this team. How is Swanson going to react in a different city? How is Bellinger going to come back from that horrible last 2 years that he's
there's
had.
there's
He can only
zero,
go. He can only go up.
there's
can't
He can only
zero-
go up, but
there's zero pressure playing
There's a
for the
lot of up
Cubs,
to go.
dude. There's zero pressure playing for the Cubs because they're cool if you lose. They don't care. They're the lovable losers.
I think the only I don't want to say I like the Dansby Swanson addition. I definitely wish we had gone after him as
In
our
this
shortstop.
division, they clearly the second best team.
I
No.
agree 100%. They're better than
But-
Milwaukee.
They're
Way
still the third best team.
They are
Milwaukee
not the
has the
third.
pitching.
No.
They have the pitcher.
Again,
dude,
it's just
the Cubs
wish
lineup, they probably have 9 guys you would take over any guys on Milwaukee's lineup. Who on Milwaukee's lineup are you taking over the Cubs? Don't tell me Christian Yelich, dude, because that dude has
No,
been
I'm-
fuck fucking shit for 2 years.
Yeah,
I'm
everybody
taking
talk about
pitching.
Bellinger falling off a cliff. That dude fell off a
Yeah.
major cliff.
Absolutely.
Willie
he
Adames
must
might
be-
be the only good player on the Brewers, but the thing is the Cubs in the same position. They got Nico Horner, Christopher Morel, and Dansby Swanson. All 3 guys I would take over Willie Adames. Like, there's not a single guy on Milwaukee's roster I would take over a Cubs player, except for the pitching and Corbin Burns and Woodruff.
Yeah, and having Peralta and Miley as your 4 or 5.
Yeah, but
They're pitching
cool
out.
with- I'm
their
cool with
pitching
having.
outranks all of. I mean,
Yeah,
every
but Ben, they
single
had the best
position.
pitching. They had one of the best starting pitching staffs last year, dude, and it didn't do anything for them because you have to be able to score runs. I don't care how good
Absolutely.
you are at pitching.
Well, I mean,
You
you
have to be
don't
able to
have to
score
score as
runs.
many runs. Like they're gonna have to score less runs.
They couldn't
than the
score
Cubs
runs at
are.
all last year. They couldn't score, dude.
Absolutely, but you just have so many question marks. Can Suzuki play to what he did last year?
Bro,
Can Happ
Suzuki
play
didn't
to
even
what
have a
he did
good
last
year. I think Suzuki's gonna be better this year. If he has
that's a huge question mark because
if he has the
he's
same
what,
year as
sophomore
last year, I think that's a plus.
I think Morel being at third is great. I think Mancini should be playing more first than Hosmer. I don't think the Horner
Well,
Madrigal
You're gonna
mix at
see
second is
you're
gonna
gonna
be
see
great.
Mancini and Hosmer. They're gonna platoon a lot because Hosmer rakes righties, Mancini rakes lefties. Like that's the whole reason why Houston went out and grabbed him. You know what I mean? Plus on the bench, dude, you got Jan Gomes, Patrick Wisdom. Patrick Wisdom dude, he had a solid year last year. Zach McKinstry sucks, but I like the Cubs, man. I think the Cubs, I'm with Irv, dude. I think this is the second best team in the NL Central, dude.
Nope. They're finishing third.
There's no chance they're finishing third.
They're finishing third. That pitching is atrocious.
That is not atrocious pitching, dude.
No,
They got a
he
better
pitches-
pitching staff than the
watch Troy
Giants.
on this year. He's going to be trash.
Bro, he just has to be decent, dude. He's got to eat innings, dude. Go out there and give me 180 innings of 4 ERA ball will be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because this offense is going to put up runs. I guarantee it. That's the difference between this offense and pitching staff and the Pirates pitching staff and their offense is I know the Cubs offense is going to go out and give me runs, but I know the Cubs pitching staff is a lot better. I mean, Marcus Stroman is a better pitcher than anybody on the Pirates. I mean, Jameson Taillon would probably be their ace on the Pirates.
That's bad.
He's not going to have a good year.
Dude,
Last year
what is
was-
a good year though, Ben? What's a good year to you? Or what's a bad year to you?
A bad year is over 4.5 ERA with a negative
Bro,
win
I
total
would-
loss.
I would honestly take 190 innings of 4.5 ERA ball from Jameson Taillon. I would consider that a solid year. How much is he making this year? Like 8 million? Just eat innings, bro. Get us into our bullpen. Because their bullpen's going to be nice. Brad Boxberger, Brandon Hughes, Michael Fulmer. I mean, they got a solid-ass bullpen. You just got to get me and Adrian Sampson. Just get us into our get through 5. Get us into our bullpen, man. Because our offense will get you a lead. Just get us into our bullpen, and let us go. I don't think their bullpen's like elite by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that it's a good bullpen.
Sorry, right now. Sorry. 14. Signed a 4-year deal, 14, 18, 18, 18.
Yeah, give me 4.5 ERA, 185, 190 innings. We're good. You earned your contract. 14 million is nothing for a pitcher. Bro, the Rangers are paying fucking Jacob deGrom like a gazillion dollars, and he's probably only gonna start 15 games, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's what we're talking about. Let's move on to Milwaukee. Let's talk about them real quick, so we can break this team down to Milwaukee. Their win total's at 85.5. This has gone down from 87.5 at most books. They've lost a lot, too. You know, they lost Jace Peterson to Oakland, Omar Narvaez, Taylor Rogers, Brad Boxberger, Jonathan Davis, Andrew McCutchen, Pedro Severino, Trevor Gott. They lost a lot of guys. Their offense, they didn't really upgrade from an offense that was literally fucking dog shit in the toilet last year. Christian Yelich still sucks. Willie Adames, probably their best player. Rowdy Tellez, William Contreras. They trade for Jesse Winker, who had a bad year last year, you know, so they're really hoping for him to bounce back. Luis Urias, Garrett Mitchell, Tyrone Taylor, Bryce Ewing. They're really banking on their starting rotation, obviously. Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, Eric Lauer, Freddie Peralta, Wade Miley, and obviously their bullpen back end, Devin Williams. Elite closer, one of the best closers in all of baseball, which is why they got rid of Josh Hader. You know, there was a lot of rumors that Corbin Burns was going to be moved in the offseason, which I think probably would have benefited Milwaukee. I think it's time for a reset. And I think the same thing is going to happen in the middle of the season. I think that this team is going to be middle of the pack or worse, middle of the season, and they're going to blow it up. I think they're going to end up trading Corbin Burns. They're going to trade Brandon Woodruff, and depending on how Freddie Peralta is playing, they may trade Freddie Peralta. If he's not having a good year like he had last year, it's going to be tough to move him for anything.
Peralta's been pitching well for the last, 3 seasons?
He was not good last year. But he also was injured for the first half of the year. But also, you know, Corbin Burns, as good as he's been in his career, he had a down year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think the big thing that you look here is that, I mean, last year it was still at a 3.5 ERA. 2021 was his better year at a 2.8.
Who?
Peralta.
Yeah.
2020, 3.99. So, I mean, he only played 4 games in 2020. Wow. I guess in that short 6-game season, but
yeah. Everyone looked good then. They either looked really good or really bad.
Yeah.
There was no
still
in between.
Though, only have I guess game started was I only had 1 start in that 2020 season. Yeah, just with these pitchers, you only have to put up 2 runs, 3 runs.
Ben, that's not true because last year they didn't even make the playoffs.
They were playing for it on literally the last day of the season, though.
Yeah, but they didn't make the playoffs, and they
were a plus 37 run differential last year.
They weren't good though, bro. When you're facing the Reds, the Pirates, and the Cubs had a down year last year, and you're facing them, fucking, you know, they faced them 17 times a year last year, yeah. So yep. 34, 51 games. Like, I would hope your run differential is pretty good. You know what I mean? Their only competition last year in their own division was the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That was it. And they weren't good. I mean, obviously they trade Hunter Renfroe this year, who, you know, they traded for him thinking that he was going to give him a boost because he had a good year in Boston the year before. He wasn't as good. They trade Colton Wong. I think Colton Wong, great defensively. I don't think he has the best bat in the world.
No.
But this is a team that was like, it's a lot of all or nothing, dude. It's a lot of, we're either hitting home runs or we're not scoring any runs. You know, there's no in between for this team. And that's the problem. Because, you have an elite pitching staff, right?
You're not gonna win a whole bunch of games 1-0.
Exactly, dude. You can't bank on winning 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 type games, dude. Like that's not gonna sustain it. It's not gonna sustain itself. Because I bet if you look up their runs, I bet they beat the Pirates like 5 times, like 17-2. I bet their point differential against the Pirates was more than their entire point differential in the league. I bet they had a negative point differential against everybody but the Pirates or the Reds.
I don't know how to check that, but
yeah, no, it would take us a while, but I'm just saying, like, trust me, I watch a lot of baseball, dude. I bet on a lot of baseball. I'm telling you, dude, the Brewers, and I sound like, just listen to me, bro. Listen, you know. But I'm telling you, dude, the Brewers last year, like, you just can't sustain that type of play, bro. You can't. You can sustain it maybe for a season, right? But to continue doing that year in and year out, it's very difficult. You know, you're a Giants fan, dude. You should know.
Yeah, that's why they missed it. That's why they missed the playoffs by 1 game.
And their offense didn't get any better this year.
At all.
It got worse, to be honest.
No, I mean, adding Contreras is going to help there. And what, Mitchell?
No, Contreras went to the Cardinals.
They added the worst Contreras, though.
They have Willie Contreras.
Yeah, they added the worst Contreras brother. They added the Contreras brother that didn't even start for Atlanta.
Who's the
good Contreras brother was the one that started for the Cubs, and he's playing for the Cardinals this year.
Replacing a Hall of Famer.
Yep. Like the Braves were like, "Yo, we'll let him walk, and we'll literally trade 3 of our top 5 prospects for Sean Murphy, who fucking had a down year last year, but is an elite defensive catcher." That's what they thought of Willie Contreras.
I'm still putting them at the middle of the pack.
Would you take them to win the division at plus 145?
No. I'm taking chalk to win the division.
Yeah, I mean the Cardinals are
is going to win the division, but I think this is going to be the number 2 team. Again, that's based on the Cubs having so many question marks in my eyes.
What kind of drugs did you do today?
Yeah, not with you on this one, Ben. I think
that's fine, but let's just watch then. The Brewers are going to be better than the Cubs at the end of the season.
The Brewers are due for a big, big regression.
Pitching overall is going to keep them above the
but
Cubs.
Ben, what happens when they trade off Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff in the middle of the year?
They're not, because they're going to be
not going to be competing.
They're going to be competing. They're going to be in a wild card race.
No, they're not, because
absolutely they are.
Ben, look at the NL, dude.
Or they're going to be close.
The NL at least has 4 teams that are going to be better than them.
So the NL teams really improved, and they didn't improve at all. All they got was Contreras. And that's not even a big improvement.
And on the NL West side, you know, you still have the Dodgers. You have the Padres, who definitely got better. Yeah. And you have the Diamondbacks.
I still don't see them racing for
who?
A wild card position, the Diamondbacks.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to talk about the NL West. Diamondbacks might win that division.
Diamondbacks are not winning the division.
They may.
No, they'll be 3rd in the division, but that's okay.
I'll tell you what, though, the Diamondbacks are going to be higher than the Giants in that division.
That's fine. That's why I said they were going to be 3rd in the division.
No, I like the Diamondbacks.
I'm not an idiot there.
I like the Diamondbacks a lot, and I also like the Marlins a lot. I think the Marlins, you know, I took them plus 4,600 to win the NL East. Obviously, it's a long shot, but I think they have the pitching to be able to do it. Sixto
Talking about not having any bats.
Well, let's go. You know, They have more bats than the Brewers do. I'll put it that way.
Not true whatsoever.
Bro, it's absolutely true. They just traded for the AL leading. They traded for the AL batting title.
Yeah.
And they got better bats than they got better.
And they were so trash last year offensively.
They were, but they also had a lot of injuries, dude. Jorge Soler only played like 42 games. Like they had a lot of injuries. I'm telling you, bro, the Marlins are gonna be nice. But anyways, Brewers are not gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna end up trading half their roster by All-Star break. I like them under. Ben likes them over. Ben likes them to be the second best team. What should we put on this, Ben? Because we seem to both have some strong convictions about the Brewers. I really like them under, dude. I honestly think they might finish third in this division.
To be honest,
well, I think they're finishing third for sure. I think they might finish fourth too, depending on.
I have them. What did I write them down as? I had them at 83. So that's what? Under?
Yeah.
It's still under. But I still have them finishing second in division.
I like the Cubs.
I don't. I have them below the Cubs.
Give me the Cubs.
I like the Cubs. Second. All right, let's talk about the Cardinals. Obviously, we all have them first in this division. It needs to be tough to knock them out. Although I do think that they do have a little bit of chip in the armor in the starting pitching. They obviously lose Jose Quintana. I don't know how you pronounce it, but what do you guys think about the Cardinals this season?
Herb, go ahead, because I'm gonna go get a beer.
They got some question marks. They losing. Wainwright retired too, right?
No, he's still playing.
Oh he's pretty much on his last leg, but they got a big hole to replace with Yadier. Well, what's his name? Not Yadier. What's his name?
Yeah, Yadier Molina.
Yeah, Yadier. I don't know why I'm mixing him up with his brother, but yeah, Hall of Famer. They did get a top four, top three, top five, easily top five catcher, and Wilson Contreras. Well, like you said, the pitching.
Wilson. Okay.
We don't know what we don't know what we're gonna get out of the pitching because, like you said, that's gonna be the little chink in the armor because they're moving what's the name over to a full-time starter now.
Who?
And he still has to prove the guy that could throw the 100-mile-an-hour changeup. What's his name?
They are not moving Jordan Hicks into the starting lineup. I do not
do
not have him projected there.
I thought they was gonna move him to the starting lineup by now.
No, he's still relieved.
I think they tried it last year and it just didn't work because he's basically like a 2-pitch guy, and it's hard to be a starting pitcher in today's game if you can only throw 2 pitches. Like if you only throw 2 pitches, like your fastball better be 101 and it better fucking move, dude. You know, like it can't be a 4-seam fastball anymore. Like that needs to be like a 2-seamer or a sinking fastball, 101 cutter. You can't throw just a 4-seamer and a slider, dude. You know, that's
Jordan. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. Sorry.
No, go
Finish.
Ahead. Go ahead.
No. Finish.
No, I'm just saying, like, you as a starter, you just couldn't do it. And like they tried it last year with Jordan Hicks, and like he couldn't get through a lineup 2 times, dude. You know what I mean? Like it was too difficult for him, and he excels as a relief pitcher because he has +2 pitches. He has 2+ pitches, right? He has a plus fastball and a plus slider. So as a reliever, it works because you don't have to see a lineup multiple times. You just see him once. So you don't have to set up your pitches. So I just think it works better like that. And I think that's an issue, though, Irv. You know what I mean? Because I think they were banking on him to be a starter.
Yeah, I was banking on him to be a starter, too. So, yeah, I don't know. They should win the division, but I don't think they go far in the playoffs without a good rotation.
Bro, that's why I think, honestly, the Cubs plus 550, I think there's solid value on them to win this division.
Because
Jordan, I got a beer just for you. It's arrogant bastard. That's you written all over it.
I am arrogant.
They sell that at Pizza Nista.
Yeah, you would not like this one, Irv.
Oh yeah, I would.
Don't drink this one.
It's funny because I'm arrogant and I am a bastard. So
there we go.
What's the definition of a bastard?
Technically like a fatherless.
Fatherless, yeah.
No, is your parents weren't married when you was born.
Well, I am a
So-
bastard.
There you go.
So it fits me perfect. Though I mean, the one thing that's good about the Cardinals, obviously, is like they're the best defensive team in all of baseball
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think they have the best defensive infield and
and outfield.
a really good. Well, I'm
Tyler O'Neill
hope-
is a Gold Glove caliber guy. Lars
Agreed.
Nootbaar,
yeah,
Dylan Carlson won a
Dylan
Gold,
Carlson,
Gold
yep.
Glove last year. So I mean,
Newt Bar is the real one that I'm kind of questioning. Is he going to have a good season like he did last year?
offensively or defensively?
Both. I mean, I think you're lucky in being in right field. He's not going to get the majority of the the pull balls to him.
Well, I also think
But-
that like offensively, it's like you're not really banking on him to do that much because you have Tommy Edman, Wilson Contreras, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Brendan Donovan, and we even brought up Nolan Gorman, who last year came into the season as a top 5 prospect, who this year is sitting on their bench because he can't fucking field a ground ball for shit.
You've got Yepes as well that they just added, right? Did they add him this offseason or was he added last year?
Nah, they
at
had
the
him
trade
last
deadline?
year.
Okay.
They had him last year.
Um,
It's no, I mean, I think like lineup wise, roster wise, I think the Cardinals are the deepest. It's just I think they do have question marks in their starting rotation. Does Jack Flaherty bounce back to what he once was?
Does Montgomery have a year like he did last year?
He never had a year like
Same
that before.
question, yeah.
Does
Yep.
Miles Mikolas?
Yep.
He was never as good as he was last year, and he showed kinks in the armor towards the end of last year, right?
Wainwright's just getting older.
Obviously, they have a great bullpen. Gallegos, Hicks, Palante, Helsey.
Honestly, yeah.
I think that's a solid bullpen, and obviously they got Dakota Hudson, who they can like throw in the starting rotation too. Like they're deep pitching wise, but they're like deep with like average guys outside of like their top 4 bullpen guys, who I think are like elite hit or miss bullpen guys, right? Which is good at come postseason time, which
I was gonna say I'd love to have a 4.
which didn't
Top
work.
level
Which for some
pitch.
reason didn't work last year. I mean, they blew like a 6-run lead in an inning, but
Yeah.
come the thing with having a strong bullpen throughout the entire year,
They're tired.
you're only pitching those guys 65 innings max a year, right? So 162 games. What are you doing for the 100 other innings?
Yeah.
You're relying on your offense to like blow guys out, and you're starting pitching to get you deep into games, 6-7 innings, right? Now playoff time, I like the Cardinals. I liked them last year too. It didn't turn out to be that way because the Phillies were just caught lightning in a bottle. It just happens. But during the regular season, I think that their starting rotation, Ben, you said it, like, is Jordan Montgomery going to have the same year as he did last year? Is Jack Flaherty going to bounce back? Is Miles Mikolas going to have as good of a year? Adam Wainwright's 42 years old. Like, how good is he going to be?
Yeah, it's time for him to pack it up, I think, honestly.
So are the Cardinals going to be this team that has to win fucking 8-7 ball games? 9-8, 9-7, 9-6? Like, are they going to have to put up a ton of runs?
But they can.
They can, and their bullpen is elite. So once you get into the 7th inning, you got 4 guys in Hicks, Ponte, Gallegos, and Halsey that can literally just shut the door. But at the same time, like, those guys are only going to pitch 65, 72 innings a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like them to win the division. But I think 89.5 is like right where they should be because of their starting pitching. Now, I talked about the Brewers trading Corbin Burns and their guys. I definitely see St. Louis adding starting pitching at some point in the season.
Yes. But it isn't going to be Burns or Woodruff.
No, it won't be those two.
That's for sure.
But there will
Not
be
in
guys.
division.
There will be guys available.
Absolutely.
There's a guy in San Francisco named Webb.
He'll be say Logan Webb. Yeah.
Logan Webb will be available at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all gonna be sellers this year?
Oh yeah. I mean, it only makes sense. Like, dude, you got to
outside
get
of that
talent.
1 year with those Jags playing out of their mind.
I mean, I think the good thing is that
rebuild.
we have so much money available. So
But y'all wasn't gonna spend this wisely. Y'all was gonna give Correa all that damn money.
Oh, but did we? No.
The only problem is that having money right now doesn't help you. You know what I mean? So
unless you're saving up for Shohei, and if the Angels are a shit show, he definitely not going to the Giants.
Yeah, I mean we'll see what happens, but
I think the last place LA would want to show. Well, I guess if he'll go to free agency, so LA wouldn't trade him.
Yeah, we don't have to trade for him if they don't resign him here.
I was gonna say the last place that the Angels would want to send Shohei would be the Dodgers,
unless they give him like a package they can't refuse. I mean, at the end of the day,
then you wouldn't want more LA fans going. I mean,
yeah, but you can't cannibalize yourself and say like
they're not really LA though, because they're not even in LA County.
Anaheim, yeah. Ask the Nets owner about that.
I was gonna say you can't cannibalize yourself on a draft because you just hurt yourself at the end of the day. Like the Nets could have had a way better package from the Lakers for Kyrie Irving than they got from the Mavericks, but dude was so hell-bent on not giving Kyrie what he wanted, they took a lesser of a deal, which could come back to haunt them. You know what I mean? So you can't do that to yourself. Like if a team's willing to give you more than another team, like even though it's your rival, your in-town rival, you just gotta say like, yo, like fuck it. You know what I mean? But I do think the Cardinals are going to be buyers at the deadline. I do think they are going to get some starting pitching. I do think that there is going to be some sellers at the deadline. The Oakland Athletics are going to be one of them. You got.
Speaking of, you see Montas. Shoulder.
Yeah, but he's on the Yankees now, Ben.
Well, I know, but an old A. That's where
y'all sold him at the right time, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, that's what we call a fleece, baby. No, but I mean the A's have like 8 starting pitchers who are major league ready. So I mean they might trade a couple of guys before the regular season even starts, to be honest. Yep. You got guys in Colorado, Herman Marquez, who's a great pitcher outside of Coors Field. You know where half his games are, and that's the thing with Colorado pitchers. Outside Coors Field they usually do pretty well. Kyle Freeman is pretty good, so. Maybe there's some deals to be had there. Maybe a team in the AL West, the Rangers, who I don't think will sell because they've been too stubborn buying people. But maybe the Mariners don't have as good of a year. Maybe they start selling off a Robbie Ray. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think they'll trade really anybody. They already traded James Paxton. Sorry, but I think there is going to be deals to be had. And I think the Cardinals are going to be the first guys in on starting pitching for sure.
Yeah. I don't think they need any offense, so that can be their main focus.
Yep. That's a blessing to have as a team, dude, when you can literally just focus in on, we need starting pitching. Boom, let's go get it.
Who's Washington's number 2, number 3 guy? Because Strasburg just got injured again. They're going to be tanking again.
Well, they got a lot of good young guys. They got Josiah Gray, who I'm very high on, dude.
That's right, Gray's there. Yeah,
he has a very high K/9. He has a good swing and miss ratio.
That one time, me and you and Felipe.
Well, I mean,
each other down, and we bet on him, and he gave up 5 runs.
Dude, all right. The day we bet on him, he went through he had like a 7-game stretch of giving up 1 run or less, dude. And then we bet on him and he gave up fucking 5.
Jordan chopped all that shit and bet on him. That motherfucker got raped in the first inning. He gave 5 or 6 runs.
That's baseball though, Irv. The one thing with Josiah Gray though is his best pitches is changeup, and you can't throw
changeup is nasty.
You can't throw a changeup unless you can spot your fastball. So if you can't spot your fastball, if you can't throw your fastball for a strike, your changeup's meaningless.
I think Steven Strasburg might have to retire, man.
Yeah, he's always
just so unfortunate. He didn't pitch close to what he should have.
He won a World Series.
I know, but he hasn't.
He went all in to win that World Series, and he ain't been the same since.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was elite coming out of college, but I mean, he was always injury prone because he
throws the ball
throws too hard, dude.
Yeah.
It's just unnatural. You know what I mean? It's going to be a good baseball year, though. All right, so You got Cardinals. Do we have Cardinals over under 89.5?
I have Cardinals over.
I'm gonna go. Over.
Because I don't think they're gonna lose 4 more games than they did last year.
Yeah, I like
Plus that division, only team that really got better, considerably better, is the Cubs. So
I'm just hoping that the Cardinals trade for some starting pitching sooner rather than later.
Agreed.
But I do like them over. I wouldn't bet it. I also wouldn't bet them to win the division at minus 115. I mean, there's just zero value tying your money up for that long at that kind of odds. Honestly, you might get better number if they start off really slow and fall to like a plus 250, plus 300 and take them there, which we'll talk about with some other divisions too. You have to get your timing right. I mean, Cardinals last year, you know, the Milwaukee Brewers were the betting favorite to win the NL Central for like the longest time, right?
Mm-hmm.
AL Central, perfect example. Chicago Cubs, I mean, they were the betting favorite all the way through July, even though they were like third, second, fourth place in their division. Yeah, the White Sox.
Yeah.
What did I say?
The Cubs.
Sorry, the White Sox. So, if you have these strong convictions about teams to win their division, so if you think the Cardinals are definitely going to win their division, and you're like us where you're like, okay, their biggest question mark is starting pitching, right? And they start off a little slow. Because remember, first month of the year, it's cold. You know, their bats aren't going to be up to pace. They may start off slow. They may start off the season 11-20.
Yep.
Maybe you get a better number then. You know, so keep that in mind as we go through the season. I do think that there's value with the Cubs to win the division at plus 550 now. I think that may be
I think that's the only value in that division.
I think that may be the best number you get for the Cubs, because the Cubs could jump out to a division lead and the Cardinals are chasing them all throughout the year, and that's when they trade for starting pitching, and then they overtake the Cubs at the end of the year. Because I think the Cubs right now, top to bottom, are a better team than the Cardinals.
Who said what are you smoking earlier?
No. Yeah, I do. I think the Cardinals are. I think the Cardinals have a better bullpen and a slightly better lineup, and they're better defensively. But I think the Cubs have at plus 550, dude. I mean, that's just too good a value to pass up. I think Cubs are right there.
No.
Cubs.
It's a good thing I froze.
The Cubs need.
No.
They can make some.
I think 550 is the only value.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think the Cubs are going to start out slow too, I mean, you can get better value as well.
I won't go that far with the Cubs, but I do think they finish second in the division and go over.
I mean, I think their lineup is super nice, dude.
Yeah, their lineup is nice, but they do have some question marks with the starting pitching and the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing the Cardinals have on them really
is the bullpen.
And Nolan Arenado and
Goldschmidt.
But I mean, Nolan Arenado, like, he was up and down last year.
Yeah, he's not the Nolan era. We all know he wasn't going to be the Nolan Arenado he was in court with the Rockies.
Yeah. And even Goldschmidt last year, I mean, he started off super hot, dude, and he kind of cooled off.
Didn't you have a ticket for him to win MVP?
He was MVP candidate for.
He was a while, yeah.
2/3 of the season, yeah.
And then he just fucking
slowed down.
Yeah, that's baseball, bro. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, you just gotta catch shit on the right. And you want to
get hotter later in the season
than early
if you're going for an award. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just want to get hotter at the end of the season, regardless, dude.
That's true. Going to the playoffs.
You know, come June, July, that's when you want to start kicking it up. Yep. All right, so Reds, we're all going over on Reds, right?
Was it over under 56?
No, 65, dog.
Oh, under.
Okay, I'm over. Ben, you're over? Irv is under. Cubs over under 77.5. Irvin Iyer over. Ben, you're under.
I have them at 78.
So you're like right there.
I'm right there. That's a no bet for me.
Cardinals over under 89.5. We're all over. Brewers over under 85.5. Irvin Iyer under. Ben, you're over.
I'm under. I have them at 83.
Oh, we're all under. Okay. Pirates over under 67.5. Irvin and I are both under on those.
I'm over. Yeah.
Over. So Ben thinks the NL Central is gonna be a good division, basically.
No.
You like all these motherfuckers over.
I have 2 unders.
On you have Cubs under?
I have Cubs right at 78.
So you're taking them under 77.5.
Yes.
Well, you're losing that one. You're losing the Pirates. I mean you're losing the Brewers for sure. All right, so
I'm
what
under
do we
on the Brewers?
I know, but what are we putting on this? I like the Cubs to finish ahead of the Brewers.
Me too.
What are we putting on this, Ben?
Hat.
It's a year-long race. Keep in mind.
Hat.
A hat?
Yep.
So me and Jordan both got to buy you a hat?
Sure.
All right.
Well, I'm only going a hat, not like a jersey or anything, because we're going to be making a lot of these. I'm guessing. So
That's
we'll
fair
start
enough.
with a hat.
Fair enough. So hat, Cubs, Brewers. I'm writing it down right now on my notebook.
All right. Then me and Ben got to make a bet on something else. If he loses, he got to wear a Dodgers jersey to a home San Francisco Giants game.
No way in hell.
What?
You gotta do it.
No
dog.
way in hell.
I already know we're gonna have some more of these because I know I know I have convictions about the NL East that nobody else has. I'm very high on the Marlins, dude. I think the Marlins are gonna be very good this year.
No way in hell I'm wearing a Dodgers jersey to a Giants game.
What's up with that? It's a bet, Ben.
Yeah, you just gotta do it one time, bro.
Exactly.
Nope. No way in hell.
You got to take a picture.
No way in hell I'm wearing a Dodgers jersey. So
Why?
Oh man, that's where he draws the line.
not happening.
Benjamin. I would wear a jersey of any team.
Great.
Even the Yankees.
Great. A Derek Jeter jersey. Knew that one would hurt.
I would wear a Yankees jersey, not Derek
There we
Jeter.
go.
Give me like a Babe Ruth or a Johnny Damon. I don't know anybody with Derek Jeter. Give me an A-Rod jersey. Yeah, I'm excited for
A-Rod. Don't he own the Timberwolves now?
Yeah, and he's talking about buying a fucking football team too.
Well, I heard he was in the talks for the future Seattle Supersonics too.
Your boy got the coin. No, he can't own two
No,
teams.
he can't own. He's already part owner of the Timberwolves.
Yeah. Huh.
Nah, he wants to buy like I forget. I just heard an interview with him like the other day. Like he was literally just talking about shopping for another sport because he's a Timberwolves owner. He doesn't even know his own players, by the way.
Yeah. Was he in the talks for Washington?
No, because that's Bezos.
Okay.
I think Bezos is buying the Commanders. We'll see what happens with A-Rod, but I think there's another NFL team that's trying to sell right now. If I'm not mistaken. I know the Bucks are trying to sell, and that asshole from fucking Cleveland Browns are trying to buy the Bucks, dude. If he buys the Bucks, I will disown the Bucks. I will say deuces.
He wears Packers gear to the 49ers game.
Who?
Aaron.
Does he own a part of the Packers? Because they're like publicly owned, right?
No, I don't think he does. Oh, he's majority owner. Damn.
Majority owner of who? The Timberwolves?
Of the Timberwolves, yeah.
Damn, he owns more than 50%?
Yeah.
A-Rod?
Well, no, I don't think he owns more than 50%, but he owns. There's multiple people, so it doesn't add up.
So he owns like 25%. Another dude owns 25%. Another dude owns 25%.
He'd own like 26, and there's like 25, 25, 24.
So he's like the majority owner of the
Yeah.
Timberwolves. God, what a dog shit franchise that is. Jesus Christ. Yo, that's how you know your team sucks. I mean, bro, they literally traded like 1 million draft picks for Rudy Gobert.
That was a horrible trade.
That was awful. My goodness. My
And the
fucking
Suns
goodness.
just sold for $4 billion.
Yeah, and the dude that just traded for the Suns, he just hired fucking Isaiah Thomas, who might be literally the worst basketball executive in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, he worse than MJ by a mile.
So this could be very interesting. Although, I mean, they have KD, and it's going to be hard for them to suck for at least this year. After this year, it's going to be tough because, you know, Chris Paul is becoming decrepit. KD is getting old. So, honestly, after this year, I think the Suns have like a year window, maybe 2 years to be good. If not, they are fucking trash as fuck.
It's done for, yeah.
And D Book is gonna go to the future Las Vegas franchise, which I'm gonna part own. We are gonna part own Taproom Sports.
There we go.
Let's go. All right. Let's go, y'all. Let's get some best bets from the NL Central.
I'm going to go over for the Cubs.
Irv, over, Cubs. Ben?
I am going to, sorry, I'm pulling up the numbers here again. See which one I like the best. I think I'm going to go over Cincinnati Reds.
Over Reds, 65.5. All right. I'm going to go with Brewers under 85.5. I would take that shit all the way to 83.5. I might even take it to 81 because I definitely think they're selling at the trade deadline. I have very strong convictions about this. So I love
An arrogant bastard.
Well, I mean, bro, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm willing to sit here and lay it all out. Like, and I've been high on the Brewers the last 2 years, dude. I thought the Brewers were gonna win this division last year, and I thought they were gonna. Ben, we sat together, and I was like, the Brewers are gonna be in the World Series.
Yeah,
and they fucked.
I thought the Brewers were gonna take this division last year. Yep. I also thought the White Sox were gonna take the division too, but
I did not.
Gotta love the Central.
My team.
I picked the White Sox to go to the World Series last year.
The team I picked to win the division last year won the division.
I think you picked this Cleveland.
I did pick Cleveland. We could pull it up on wax.
I mean, it definitely wasn't the Tigers. It definitely wasn't the Royals.
I picked the Guardians. I picked the Guardians to win the division last year. That was my hot take of the off season. And it hit.
Damn, I almost called them the Indians.
And it hit, dude.
No, the Indians.
That's why I was so high on the Guardians throughout the entire year. Because it's like bro. They
Well, I think the big thing about the Guardians throughout the entire year was they were playing number one, number two in the division, and the White Sox still had the division, and the best,
yeah.
the lowest VIG to win the division. So taking the Guardians, I think we took them like even a month before the season was over, and we were
Plus
still getting plus like 200.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was crazy, bro. I
it
did not
was nuts.
understand.
And they
it.
had the easiest schedule for the remainder of the season.
Damn, the Carolina Hurricanes is a minus 450 on the money line tomorrow.
We're talking baseball. This motherfucker brings it. The black guy brings up hockey.
Against the Canadians? Oh, minus 450. I'm like, wait. Why are they an underdog? Sorry.
Who's
But yeah,
minus 450?
The Carolina Hurricanes is minus 450 on the money line against the Hurricanes.
What was the final score of that Maple Leafs game tonight?
They beat, I think they
5-2.
They beat the shit out of the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
They were minus 900, dude.
It was
Wow.
it was 3-1 in the first intermission.
God, I need the Ducks to stop sucking. Like
Nah,
really.
I don't think I think the Ducks are gonna suck more than the Sharks because y'all actually win games y'all not supposed to. So y'all
Sharks
not
just moved into fourth place for the Bedard races.
So y'all not gonna get Bedard.
We're trading Carlson though.
Yeah, we will be trading, and we're talking about trading Timo Meyer too.
Yeah. So hopefully they're both gone. So
trade them to the Kings.
Yeah, as long as we get Connor Bedard, dude.
No, we will not be trading him to the Kings.
I just have a feeling that they're just gonna give Connor Bedard to like a big team like the Blackhawks, dude.
Yeah. I hope not.
Yeah, we need to hit.
Y'all don't suck more than the Ducks, so
Columbus has 36 points, Chicago 37, Anaheim 40, San Jose 45, Arizona and Vancouver at 46.
Well, I guarantee you the last team they're gonna be benefiting is Arizona, dude. I can guarantee you that.
But the good thing is that it is the ping pong balls, so it is a percentage.
Bro, that shit's so fake, Ben.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that shit is rigged. How did like when Chicago got Derrick Rose?
Yeah, and how they don't take out or they
well,
don't.
To be fair, like
public site.
Derrick Rose and Michael Beasley both came out at the same time, and a lot of people like myself, I thought Michael Beasley was going to be a lot better, and he probably was the better player, but his mental just wasn't right.
He just ended up in some shitty situations.
NFL has fucked us over before, so they'll probably fuck us over again.
Who?
The Sharks.
They shouldn't, because the Sharks have a great market in the Bay Area.
Absolutely. But they fucked us over when we were in our inaugural season. We were supposed to have the first overall pick, but they gave it to New Jersey because New Jersey was in the last place.
Who did
New Jersey get?
Eliash.
And who did y'all get?
Pat Falloon.
Oh, yeah. Great pick.
Yep. So.
He was a beast?
No.
Oh, Eliash was.
I know. I'm talking about y'all guy.
Oh.
Nah, he was trash.
Yeah, I know Elias was
trash, but he wasn't. He wasn't great.
The best player in the history of the Sharks,
it's Tamu, right?
Hell nah. His name is
he wasn't.
His name is Jeff Friesen.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Tamu was a duck. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
We did have Teemu Selanne for half a year, but he hated San Jose for some reason. So
he was old.
Nah, he wasn't even that old when we got him.
We
traded for him
hated
in like
San Jose
98
because he missed the fucking wraparound to put us into the finals, but it's okay.
Y'all snake bitten. Y'all like the Raiders.
Raiders? What?
I'm saying y'all always get close and then y'all never win.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. We're literally.
Or y'all the Boston Red Sox before they broke the curse of hockey.
Yeah, we're literally the fucking Cubs of hockey, dude. Except we've only been around since like 91, so it's like at this point it's what, 32, 33 years.
31 years, we made it to the playoffs 21 times.
Yeah. Like, bro, we had a streak where we made it to the playoffs for like 17 years, dude.
Mm-hmm.
and it's incredible, bro. Like, or we talked about this the other night.
Yeah.
President's trophies, all this shit, and we can't fucking
Number
make
one
it far
seeds.
because we cursed ourselves because we trade Kippersoff to the fucking Flames. Flames come back and fucking beat us, dude.
Naby was pretty good too, though.
Yeah, not as good as Kippersoff.
I don't know about that.
No, I do know about that because Kippersoff literally fucking stood on his head and beat us, dude. Like, Naby's a great regular season goalie. He's not a great postseason goalie. You would admit that, yes.
Naby was a decent playoff goaltender. Better regular season, but decent playoff.
Yeah, same with Archer Serbe, right?
Kippersoff had a run. That's it.
Yeah.
Kippersoff was a good goalie. He was better than average in both regular season and playoffs, and he had the run.
Yeah, which is.
And he also had an incredible team on his hands, which.
Well, no,
we have
not necessarily a incredible. We had the better team, top to bottom. They just had Jerome McGinley.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
That was the only difference.
Had a motherfucking monster.
Yep. And then, the one time we did have a goalie stain on his head in fucking Martin Jones for the fucking 3 months he did play elite, we man, shut the fuck up. Our team was slow and old, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so it didn't even matter.
And when we did get to the finals, who do we have to play? Fucking Pittsburgh.
Oh man, I still can't believe y'all blew that 3-1 lead, 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
Man, when we went up 2-0 in that game 3 and y'all scored 7 fucking goals in a row, I was like, bro, we about to get our shit pushed in that next game.
I was telling Irv about Andrew Jonas.
Yeah.
Who was intern for the Kings, became a Kings fan and shit. And that playoff series, we're up 3-0, and we're talking hella shit to Andrew. We're still on there, by the way. And, then we go back and we lose, dude. And Andrew's sitting there just fucking talking shit to all. We're all just sitting there just like this, dude.
And the worst problem with Andrew was he was just so damn smug. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't rub it in. I'm sure, like, I didn't know Andrew at the time of that.
No, you did.
No, I don't think it during that series. I don't think so.
Yeah, you did because that's when Tommy lived with you. He literally, dude, Andrew literally came over with all of us and watched the whole series.
Well, I'm glad y'all didn't know me back then.
But just sitting there smug, like,
he
didn't even have to rub it in. He already his smile said it all.
Like, how the fuck you like hockey?
Who?
Me, if y'all knew me back then, like, bro, how are you a hockey fan?
Nah, because you only like hockey when your team's good, dog.
No, you don't. I watch my Kings all the time, even when we was dog shit.
Yeah, now you watch them, bullshit, dog.
Bro, I used to go to Kings game when they played at.
Used to. Do you watch them now?
Yeah, I watch them now. I watched them last year. I knew once we lost that GM, I knew we was gonna be trash for at least 3 or 4 years.
You guys made the playoffs last year.
No, but bro, that was like we overachieved like a motherfucker. It showed when we played the Oilers. We had
I'll take
no
the
shot
Oilers
at
to like
beating
6
them.
games.
Huh?
I'll take the Oilers to 6 games.
Okay, now you want to give us a fucking what's the name?
I don't want to give you a participation trophy. I'm just saying, you don't watch the Kings.
Well, you guys are in the playoffs right now, so
Yeah,
no, we in the playoff hunt. I've watched the Kings. I'm not, bro. We're not. We wasn't good last year. All because you make the playoffs don't mean you good.
I mean, the Sharks didn't make the playoffs. Dog, we were not good.
Yeah, but we made the playoffs and lost in the first round. That's like our season.
I'd rather make the playoffs and lose in the first round than fucking be as trash as the Sharks are.
Well, y'all tanking, bro. Y'all trying to get a franchise changing player. It's different.
That's the thing is like, I would rather. Okay, this is the thing. When we were elite, we were like contenders, dude. So it was like nice to make the playoffs and be able to contend, even though we would fall short every fucking year, dude. It was like we just couldn't get over the hump, dude. And it's like with our worst team in the playoffs, we get over the hump and get to the Stanley Cup, and it's like, bro, why couldn't this happen fucking 10 years ago? We would have won the Stanley Cup. I told you, Barry Melrose literally fucking jinxed us for like a fucking decade because he picked us to win the Stanley Cup every fucking year, dude. He's a fucking piece of shit. However, like, I'm in the same sentiment where, like, I don't want to just make the playoffs to make the playoffs. However, now that my team doesn't make the playoffs, I'm like, yo, I would like to just make the playoffs, dude.
Well, I think that a big thing about hockey, and I'd probably say it, maybe not with basketball, maybe with baseball. Like, you can get hot and you can win a 7-game series.
Yeah, basketball is different, dude. You're either like there's 4 teams in the league in basketball that can win a title, and that's it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, with hockey, you can get a number 8 that goes and wins a title.
Yep,
like
every year.
It all depends on that. Yep, and where you're at in your growth and your energy
and matchups
levels.
too.
Yep, yeah. So getting to the playoffs is big in hockey.
Yeah, I agree. Same with football.
I'll take that back. The Kings had a good year making the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I like to see us in Western Conference Finals and Stanley Cup Finals, and
bro, y'all made like 3 Western Conference Finals in the history of your life.
I know, but I'm just saying.
You just so happen to win a Stanley Cup twice.
That's the level I want to see them at year in and year out. I want to be like the Sharks was. But get over the hump though. I don't want to get there all those times and lose.
You're so fucking annoying, dude.
What? I'm just telling you. I'm being honest.
Bro, dude, me and Irv were literally talking about this the other night. I was like, dude, you know how heartbreaking it is to always get so close and fucking we just never get over.
Well, that's what you get for making fun of my Dodgers all those years, motherfuckers. That's payback's a bitch.
Well, I mean, baseball, similar to hockey, like it's hard, dude. It's a lot of matchups.
Get to the playoffs, yeah.
It's real hard, especially when you're the favorites every damn year.
But I mean, getting to the playoffs in baseball, 162 games is like, that's an accomplishment in itself. It's like, yo, we're one of the top 8 teams out of 32 or 30. Like, we're here. You know what I mean? And I think that's like I've always said that there should be a regular season champion in baseball, and they should be celebrated just as much as the World Series champion. Because I think it's harder to be the best team through 162 games than it is to be the best team through 1 month. Call me crazy.
I understand that.
You know, I think it's an accomplishment. I think it should be celebrated. And the Dodgers have always been built for that. And the teams that can spend money are always built for that because they can spend an exuberant amount of money on a fucking average pitcher who can get them 195 innings a year and get them a 4 ERA, right? That's different. So it's like when you see a Cleveland Guardians last year that makes the playoffs, that's awesome, dude. Like, super dope. Yeah, like that to me is like sick as fuck. The Mariners last year, even though they spent a lot of money,
but I don't know why the fuck they kept pitching to Yordan Alvarez. They should have won that series.
Yeah, the Blue Jays, like, that's sick. And for those, I'll give you a little sneak preview into a couple episodes later. I love the Blue Jays to win the World Series plus 1,400. Lock it in right now because the number's only going to get shorter. I think that's the best team in baseball.
We said that last year too.
I've said it for the last 3 years, but this year I believe it.
Yeah, we'll see when we get to that division.
Well,
which is coming up because next week is
AL Central.
AL Central, yeah.
And then we're doing NL East. Right?
We've got AL Central, then we've got AL West, then AL East.
Okay, we're doing the okay. All right. Well, y'all, thank you for tuning in with us. Make sure to tap in with us. Sorry we babbled a little bit there at the end, but that's what this shit's all about. It's all about talking sports and good times, man. I love it. I love you both. We will be back on Sunday. We'll probably be talking NBA, NHL.
Wrap up of the week. Anything big that's happened?
Yeah, and we'll be looking forward to Monday. maybe preview some Monday games. There's gonna be no NBA, by the way, on Monday, because All-Star Weekend's on Sunday, so Saturday, Sunday. So we'll be doing some shit on Monday, and then we got March Madness coming up, so definitely tune in for that. My favorite time of year, college basketball. Let's fucking go. We'll see y'all on Sunday. Y'all have a beautiful fucking weekend. Tap in with us. Let's go. Also, make sure to go to Devour.com or download the Devour app straight to your mobile device. Use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase. $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door. Don't even got to leave your seat. Let's go.